A very good evening. Welcome to Premier League Live here in LFS this Saturday evening. And we are here to give you a huge game, our game of the week. And it is Manchester United taking on Chelsea at Old Trafford tonight. 5:30 kickoff in this one. And it's already been a busy day in the Premier League. Let's round up what's already happened for you. 5 games done and dusted for this weekend so far. It started at lunchtime at Anfield in the Merseyside derby. 2 goals in the first half for Liverpool. Ryan Gravenberch and Ugo TK scoring to give Liverpool a 2-goal lead. It was a goal from Idrissa Gueye that got Everton back into the game, but it was not enough to get them anything out of the game, and a win for Liverpool for the 5th time this season. 5 wins out of 5 in the Premier League, 6 in total for them, including that Champions League victory. An unbelievable start to the campaign for the champions. It was all square. It finished between Brighton and Spurs, a ding-dong battle. It was 2-0 to Brighton, but Spurs battled back to get a point out of that one. It was Burnley 1, Nottingham Forest 1, a draw. A share of the spoils, a big point for Burnley at home, and Nottingham Forest under Ange Postecoglou getting their first points under the new manager. It was more dismay and misery for West Ham. Protests before the game, massive protests about the ownership. Well, they will be protesting once again about the result this time, and it is Crystal Palace coming out 2-1 victors. Another big victory for Oliver Glasner's team on the road in that London derby, and a big victory for Leeds United, a much needed one after a recent run of form where they've dipped a little bit from where they started this season, but a good result and a good performance away from home, but a terrible start to the season for Wolves. 5 games played, 5 defeats. They become only the 6th side in English football history to lose their first 5 games in a league season in the top flight, and Leeds 3-1 victors in that one. We'll analyse all of those games in depth at half time, but to focus on our feature game this evening, Manchester United taking on Chelsea. It's a huge game. 2 sides that in years gone past would have been title challengers. Man United closer to the relegation battle in recent years than to the title. And for Chelsea, well, defeat in the Champions League in midweek. They want to bounce back and get back to winning ways and get themselves back up into second with a victory tonight. But they haven't won at Man United in 12 and a half years. 2013, the last time Chelsea left Old Trafford with all 3 points. It's not a happy hunting ground for either team, really, this season or last. But Manchester United looking to give themselves some positivity from where they have been this season. They have lost on 3 of the last 5 occasions to start this season, and 2 of those 3 defeats coming in the league without scoring as well in those games. So we will see what they've got on offer for us today. It is a huge game under the lights. Not quite that yet. It's still summer. Technically, under the weather and the lights. And it is a big night for these 2 football clubs. Certainly for Manchester United, the wind and the rain will play its part, as it has done across the country all afternoon in football matches all around the ground. It's been a dreadful day for football, but it makes it a much more tasty affair for those of us who get to sit in the comfort of the heat of our own homes and sit and enjoy this game of football. Let's have a look at the 2 teams then as they emerge from the Old Trafford tunnel, starting with Manchester United. And despite coming up with a mad statement in midweek, Ruben Amorim went on a real rant on Friday about his team and possibly changing his system. He said not even the Pope could make him change his system. Well, there's no surprise that the Pope hasn't quite convinced him, I'm sure. It's still a back 3 for Man United. Altay Bayindir in goal. They've gone for that back 3 / back 5. The wing-backs in Mazraoui and Dorgu. Either side of the defensive 3 of Maguire, who starts in the Premier League for the first time this season, alongside Matthijs de Ligt and Luke Shaw. In midfield, Casemiro comes in for Ugarte, alongside Bruno Fernandes, who continues in that midfield role. And a front 3 of Ahmad, Brian Mbeumo and Benjamin Šeško. On the bench for Ruben Amorim, Senor Lamans is still on the bench as the new signing in goal. Lenny Yoro and Fredrickson, Heaven, Ugarte, Menu, Mount, Cunha and Xerxes. Mount and Cunha coming back from injuries, and Ruben Amorim doesn't want to rush them back too quickly as he has fears of re-injuring for United. For Chelsea, after that defeat away at Bayern Munich in midweek, they want to bounce back in the league. Robert Sanchez starts in goal. Reece James comes into the side with Wesley Fofana, Trevor Chalobah and Marco Correa in defence. In midfield, Moises Caicedo alongside Enzo Fernandez. Cole Palmer starts in the 10. Estevao starts on the right-hand side. Neto off the left. And João Pedro leading the line. On the bench for the Blues, Jorgensen, Gusto, Hato, Tosin, Santos, Gittins, George, Garnacho and Gui. It is Alejandro Garnacho's return to Old Trafford, but it is Man United against Chelsea on the Saturday night game in the Premier League, our game of the week, and kickoff is next. Very good evening, welcome to Premier League Live for our second game of the day and of the weekend here on LFS, and it is a soaked Old Trafford, the venue for our game tonight. Red v Blue, United v Chelsea in our game of the week. And as I said about Chelsea's torrid run here at Old Trafford, it has not been a great start to the season by any stretch of the imagination for the home side. It's barely a fortress, this place, anymore, and Chelsea will be hoping that they can conquer what has been a terrible place on the road for them in well over a decade. And who knows, the rain could play its part. Let's see what these two have got in their locker to entertain us. It's been goals galore. Every team so far this weekend has scored at least once in the Premier League. It's not often we can say that. But we head into the second half of the fixtures on Matchday 5. And we get underway here at the what was known for many a year as the Theatre of Dreams. But as I've said recently, it's been the Theatre of Nightmares for Manchester United. And they'll be wanting to start off positively here with Mazraoui down the right side. Back to De Ligt. Trying to put Chelsea on the back foot within a second as De Ligt there tried the cross, blocked by Marco Correa. Chelsea, as I said, tasting defeat in Munich in midweek. It was their first defeat of the season after they went unbeaten in their first 4 Premier League games, 2 wins, 2 draws. And they want to get back to winning ways. They want to get back to winning ways for the first time since at the end of August, when they beat Fulham by 2-0. They drew, of course, away at Brentford in their last league game. And then defeat away at Bayern. And this run away from home. Chelsea don't play at home again until next Saturday. This is the 3rd of 4 away consecutive games for them. As Caicedo comes away with the ball there from the throw-in. Falls back to Chalobah, who will work it back to Robert Sanchez. Fires it up the field. A little bit of a heavy ball out from the back there. Is had to ride a bit of luck there, Chelsea. Reece James clearing his lines. Now Cucurella to Palmer. Out to the left is Estevao. But well marshalled by Noussair Mazraoui. That's going to be a throw-in this near side to the home team. And Estevao looks like he started on the left side. Neto at the right. Initially thought it was the other way about, but Estevao has taken up a position in this left channel. Here's Mazraoui. Nicely closed down by his opposite number, Cucurella, but the ball does bounce for Fernandez. Out to Dorgu. Back to Shaw, and now back to Harry Maguire, who Ruben Amorim said why Maguire was in this team, how help them defend their own box better. It's been kind of his key phrase for this game, defend our own box better. As Dorgu goes for the early cross in the back post, and Burmo forces a punch away from Robert Sanchez. Feeds it back in, Mazraoui's cross. Headed away by Chalobah. Chipped back in by De Ligt. Back post, Dorgu. Good challenge back there by Reece James. wanted a foul, and it's an early scramble for Chelsea as Man United come out of the blocks with a lot of energy and a lot of quality here. But Neto tries to burst away for Chelsea with the ball run out of play down that right side. I gotta say, Rain is absolutely teaming down. It's a fabulous ball by Dorgu, bouncing down just ahead of Sheshko. Back post is Brian Mbeumo. He forces a good punch out of Robert Sanchez. It's kept alive, swung back in, and it's whipped in by De Ligt to the back post to Dorgu, who just can't get a shot off. Good challenge by Reece James to deny him, but two good chances for Man United from deep crosses. And Chelsea just about get their lines cleared, but that's a positive start for the home side, who needed a response after what was a pretty dismal display in the Manchester derby last week, losing by 3-0. Manchester City really didn't need to get out of second gear. That's a lovely flick-on header, and Bomo's got in behind. He's over the goalkeeper who's took him out, and Chelsea defend the situation. It's going to be a free kick to United. And is there a card coming here? Peter Banks has a decision to make. Both sides make their claims, and it's going to be a red card. It's a red card for Robert Sanchez. Barely into the game, and he's off the fields. He doesn't agree, but he got nowhere near the ball, and Brian Mbeumo went flying inside the box. And now this is a real problem for Chelsea. Not only are they down to 10, but it's their goalkeeper that's been sent off. What a calamitous start here for the Blues at Old Trafford. See it here, it's come from the long ball from Bayindir. It's a fabulous flick on. Really good flick on by Sheshko, who comes deeper, and Bomo makes the run in behind. And I do not know what Robert Sanchez is doing. He's trying to come for this. He's never going to get there. He swings a leg out at Mbeumo. It's a terrible challenge. Absolutely awful challenge. And the ball is gone. No chance to win it. That is a hopeless goalkeeping moment. And look at that. Enzo Maresca knows it right away. He doesn't even need to see the red card. He knows his goalkeeper's made an absolute howler. And Robert Sanchez is sent to the stands. And that is going to be an awful start for Chelsea. Well, initially it's given as a free kick. That is, I think, going to stand as a free kick because I think the challenge was outside the box. But it's definitely a red card. That has been confirmed by VAR. There was no real question in my mind or in anybody's mind. Even the Chelsea manager wasn't even back in his own team's corner there because it was so clear. And sadly, young Estevao is going to have to come off here, and Philip Jorgensen is going to be coming on, the sub-Chelsea goalkeeper. They have to have someone between the sticks. And Philip Jorgensen, the sub-goalkeeper, is going to be into the goal here. And Estevao making way for him. What a horrendous start to this game. And they're going to make another change here, Chelsea, as well. This has been a crazy start. They're going to bring Pedro Neto off. So Estevao and Neto, their two wingers, are coming off. One for a goalkeeper, the other for a centre-back. So they might go to a back three now, Chelsea. And Pedro Neto screams in annoyance. And now Tosin's going to come in. So now with them down to 10, they're going to make a real change here, Chelsea. And I don't know what they're trying to figure out. I think they will go to a back three because, or a back five it would be, because they'll be off the ball quite a lot because they're down to 10. I would suggest that would be the way they would do with bringing on an extra defender. But what a crazy start. What an unbelievably crazy start. A goalkeeper sent off. Double substitution as well for Enzo Maresca. I mean, my goodness me. What a horrendous beginning to this game for Chelsea. They've got some sort of voodoo against them inside this ground. They haven't won here in 12 and a half years. Every other team in the country's probably won here since Chelsea last won. They have come out under pressure. They've already had their goalkeeper sent off and now have a free kick to defend. Casemiro, Mbeumo and Fernandes over it. They are absolutely drenched out there. It's Mbeumo and Fernandes over it, right on the edge of the D, fairly central. Jorgensen might be right into the action here in a 5-man Chelsea wall. It's a shot from Fernandes, it hits the wall, it bounced back out, and Mbeumo just over the bar. I think it took a deflection, it might have on the way through there maybe. We'll see it again. It's Fernandes, hits it straight at the 5-man wall, and then it bounces off, Mbeumo, and it does come off a Chelsea player. That will be a Man United corner. You got to say, if Man United ever needed a helping hand, losing a man so early in the game for Chelsea might just be the helping hand that Man United might have needed. Corner, right hand side, and Mbeumo to take. Knocked at the back post, left footed delivery from Mbeumo, headed on and cleared away at the back post by Cucurella. But it's relentless as Mbeumo swings it back in, and punching away is Jorgensen, and it will roll behind for another corner. It is relentless Man United pressure. Great ball by Mbeumo, fabulous delivery, and De Ligt was looking to get on the end of it, and Philip Jorgensen has to throw a right hand at it to punch it behind for another corner. To another corner to United, left hand side this time. It'll be an in-swinger. Right footed, it's headed away by Fofana, and then the shot comes in from Ahmad from the edge of the box, but that's fired away by Chelsea, and they just need they want a bit of respite. They've been constantly defending for the first 9-10 minutes here at Old Trafford. I mean, my goodness. Ahmad down this left hand side, cuts it back inside to Dorgu. Keeps it alive. Nice little 1-2 with Fernandes. Now Dorgu again on the outside. Whips a ball in. Away by Tosin. And then the bouncing ball will go out for a Man United throw. Domination. Really, it's been a torrid start for Chelsea. Absolutely torrid beginning to this game of football. Here is Mazraoui on the inside run. Goes out wide to Mbeumo. Well challenged by Cucurella, but he kept the ball. Now De Ligt. Shaw down the left hand side to Dorgu as Man United continue to pop it around the final third of Chelsea here. De Ligt making a run forward. He was going to have a go, and that was a really, really poor effort there from Matthijs De Ligt. Dragged it well wide. Goal kick. Yes, gives a job. Liverpool winning by 2-1 a little earlier. Great result for the Reds. 5 wins out of 5 to start the Premier League season. As we see this moment again, this is absolutely dreadful. Look at Sir Alex Ferguson up in arms. Sam Allardyce there too, with their little cups. It's even got the elderly risen this moment. Sir Alex Ferguson celebrating that red card. Probably the only celebration Sir Alex Ferguson's had here at Old Trafford this season. Here's a ball down the right. Brennan Mbeumo trying to work it in behind. Well blocked at the near side by Chalobah. That gives a job. It says give us pre-recording Liverpool commentary. Well, if you want to watch the highlights of the Merseyside derby, we do have a video up on the channel from our commentary highlights a bit earlier on for you. But we will analyse all of the day's results at half-time, so stick around for that. Real English says having Palmer as my FPL captain ain't looking so good now. Not too sure. I have Reece James in my team. I might get points for defensive contributions. That's the only thing I can hope for. Now, and that Chelsea don't get absolutely pummeled. But I think that's all I can really hope for. But yeah, when you think your fantasy team's going well, it somehow just blows up. This Premier League season has been absolute madness so far. Absolute madness. Yeah, Reece James in my fantasy team. Shaw there. Slipping off the ball, and that goes out for a Chelsea throw on the far side. Misalive says Man United can't pummel anyone. You never know. Even a broken clock is right twice a day, as the saying goes. Somebody with a tuxedo on there. Somebody sitting beside Sam Allardyce is dressed up to the nines for this one. The little dicky boat. And Burma winning the ball back high here. Ahmad, good press. Ball fizzed out to Mazraoui on the right side. Whips it back in. There's a lot of bodies in there. The header and the flick on from Bruno Fernandes. And Man United take the lead. It had been coming. And they finally take the breakthrough through their captain. There was a question of possible offside. The flag stayed down. VAR, of course, will check it. But that was a good diving header. And Fernandes threw himself at it on the follow-up. And that's took it well past Jorgensen to give Man United the lead. We'll see this again. It's a good delivery from Ahmad. Gives it out wide to Mazraoui. Leaves the space. He just strides onto it. Whips it back in. Oh, is Fernandes offside from the header? It's going to be tight. I think he's off here. I think he's offside. It was given on the field, but VAR, Craig Pawson's having a look at it. Adrian Holmes is assistant VAR. And now we have to wait for the confirmation from VAR, whether this goal will stand. It looked like Bruno Fernandes had just leant offside. Just. Craig Pawson will have the final say. Bruno Fernandes waiting for the decision. But it's Peter Banks that will be the man that will give us the signal whenever he knows any further. Bruno Fernandes starting to explain, but I don't know what he's expecting. Therefore, he's not going to make the decision. He's going to be told whether it's on or off. And that's going to be the final call, which is what we like to see, but it should be done in no time. It is a tight one, they're saying. This is a big moment. If Man United score here, it really could be a long day at the office for Chelsea. Well, everybody, even the two managers, are confused as to what's taking so long. They're making sure that everything is correct before a decision is made. And the decision is a goal. He's onside, Bruno Fernandes. And Man United do take the lead. It took a while to get there, but in the end, we did get to the decision. Whether he's on or off was as tight as anything. To me, it looked like he was just leaning off, but you can't really say for certain in there. Who knows what the explanation is? We'll get further information shortly, but it's a great finish, by the way. Good control, good finish. 1-0 to United. It's Patrick Dorgu, whose header was flicked on by Bruno Fernandes into the back of the nets. There's a yellow card handed out there from Casemiro on Enzo Fernandez. So a yellow card for Casemiro. A red card for Chelsea, followed by An opener for Man United, who started like a house on fire here. Even before the red card, they were the more positive of the two teams. And now it's just going to get even better, it seems, for them. That's a lovely little dummy by Ahmad. And round the outside is Dorgu. Trying to link it up back with Ahmad. It's kept alive by Fernandez. Lovely first touch. Finding Mbomo. He wants to have a go. And it just curled around the outside of the parameters of the goal. Yeah, good cut inside. And Mbomo tried to find that top corner. Just goes over the bar. We'll give you the full confirmation as to why the VAR decision was made. We don't have much clarity, but there is the decision. It is by the finest of fine margins I've ever seen. That is unbelievable. It's the right decision, but it is unbelievable how tight that was. And they're going to make another change. Chelsea are going to make a third change in 19 minutes. Less than that. I mean, what? What's going on? And Reece James heading back to his goalkeeper there, Philip Jorgensen. You're wondering what I'm doing. I'm trying to find out the full explanation of that VAR decision. And we haven't got that just yet from the Premier League Match Centre, but I'm sure we will. But it is as tight as offside can get. It is offside, or it is onside, sorry, but it is as tight as it can get for it to be onside. Yeah, a little bit of a loose foul. That there's not much in it, in my opinion, between João Pedro and Matthijs de Ligt, and they're going to make another change here, Chelsea. Quite dramatic. André Santos is coming on, and it's going to be Cole Palmer. It's coming off. I mean, this is absolutely bizarre from Enzo Maresca. They've brought off Esteval and Neto and now Palmer. That's three of their front four have all been sacrificed here, and André Santos has come on. I mean, I'm baffled why that change has been made, because André Santos is an attacking player, so it's a straight swap for Cole Palmer. I don't understand why that's been made, but the decision's been made. It's not my job to pick the Chelsea team. And Cole Palmer, I think he's had a little smile there with Kobbie Mainoo. This game's bizarre. I mean, this is crazy. Genuine craziness. Here comes Chelsea. They've got a bit of space here. That's a nice little link up. André Santos linking up with João Pedro there. Out wide it goes to Cucurella. Body's in the box. Cucurella's cross was deflected. Behind for a corner to Chelsea. Mazraoui there just couldn't keep it in play. That was the first real foray forward for Chelsea all afternoon that we've seen so far. 21.5 minutes in. First real attempt up the fields. Joint most goals from corners this season. 4 alongside Arsenal. So they are frivolous from these sorts of areas. Man United quite the opposite in defending corners. Corner on this left-hand side. Right-footed delivery. It's narrow. It's all the way across and cleared away. And the shot from range was blocked and charged down. And now Man United want to break away. And here they come. A lovely little run by Dorgu. Tried to lay it out wide to Ahmad, but nicely cut out by Caicedo, who just about wins the throw in there down that right-hand side. Well, and it's a massive if Chelsea can keep Man United at bay, they can, on rare counter-attacks, get something out of it. But it is an ungodly mountain to climb. And I know they're only 1-0 down only 1-0 down. I think this game is far from over, certainly, but you never know. You never know with football. With the way this game's gone already, who knows what's the next twist in the tale. It was the rain that started it, and everything else does. Real English says, I have a question. If a player on the bench gets a card, does it apply in FPL? I'm not too sure. If it's on your FPL bench, I don't think, unless you play bench boost, but I don't think it should affect you. Mazraoui. Down the right channel, one for Sheshko. Nicely seen off the ball there by Tosin. Good strong defending. Still awaiting for the full confirmation. There's an issue here for Cucurella. Yeah, Mazraoui just a fair challenge with Cucurella. And it's the way he landed. Kind of whacked his face. Should be okay, but it's a painful one. Yeah, I'm still waiting on that confirmation from the Premier League Match Centre. The Fantasy Premier League have already put up a a post about the Sanchez red card. It's a real nightmare for anybody who put Robert Sanchez into this into their fantasy team this week. As we see the hierarchy of Man United and Sir Jim Ratcliffe in a bizarre looking coat with Ineos on it. At least he's well dressed for the day. Wet, damp, horrid weather. It's been a horrid first half here for Chelsea. But if, as I said, if they can keep Man United at bay and keep it very close, you never know. You never know. I think for Man United it's just about staying professional, not getting too overexcited about the fact that Chelsea are down to 10, and I think you see that a lot with teams. They take it too easily, they become lackadaisical, they think that everything's just going to come to them because they have the extra man. You have to use the extra man smartly and to your advantage, and if you don't, things aren't just going to come your way. As Chelsea playing out from the back here, they make it work to find Chalobah, who stretched the ball, and a nice little turn here from João Pedro. Not much up the field as Cucurella works it back inside to Chalobah. Now Tosin forced it into the midfield for Enzo Fernandez, and a ball, one for Wesley Fofana to chase. It was a difficult back pass, but he did play it out well. Not one for Reece James to keep, as Shaw put a lot on that one for Dorgu. Goes out for a Chelsea throw in the far side. I think Chelsea have got to cling on to the fact that Man United have been far from competent in a lot of games this season. And that's what they've got to cling on, that Man United, even in this most favourable of moments and most favourable of game situations, that they still don't find a way of battling them to the best of their ability, really, if you know what I mean. That they still falter. That's all really Chelsea can hope for, and then a bit of luck on their end. But the way things have gone, I think Chelsea will be happy that they're not further behind or even in more trouble than what they could have been. Caicedo looking for the switch ball. A little bit short towards Reece James on that far side, and Man United win it back, and Fernandez has sent it in behind Fofana. He made a good challenge on Ahmad to put it out for the throw. Ahmad trying to make the run on the outside of the defender, and Fofana did well recovering to put that one out for a throw. And that is correct, Misa Life. Chelsea haven't won at Old Trafford in 12.5 years, since 2013. Rawi and Kukureya, I think, both battling there, and it's going to be a free kick to Man United. And Fernandez and Burmo there will look to try and take this free kick. Well, as I said, Man United unbeaten in the last 12 Premier League home games against Chelsea, 1-5 and drawn 7 since that 1-0 defeat in May of 2013. Indeed, Chelsea's win rate at Old Trafford is 18% in the Premier League. That is their lowest away to any side they have faced more than 10 times in the competition. That's 6 times out of 33. Their winning rate at Old Trafford is that's a ball in. Burmo far too close to Philip Jorgensen. This is a Chelsea player down, and referee is going to give a free kick, and their Chelsea players all surrounding the referee wanting a card, but the referee just has to maintain a little bit of control of this game. Sure does make contact, but it's a foul and nothing more. Free kick. Chelsea again trying to squeeze it through the lines, trying to play through the lines, and Man United not having to run very much to recover the ball. Just short of 30 minutes gone. Man United 1, Chelsea 0. Chelsea down to 10. Goalkeeper Robert Sanchez sent off for a really bad tackle on Brown and Burmo. They then brought on Philip Jorgensen for Esteval. They then made another change, bringing Pedro Neto off to replace by Tosin, and then brought Cole Palmer off as well for Andre Santos. Certainly the most bizarre of first halves I've seen already this season. Well, after their 1-0 win in May, Chelsea are looking for successive league victories over Man United for the first time since winning 3 in a row between November 2009 and March 2011 under Carlo Ancelotti. The Blues' 2 wins in the last 3 league games against the Red Devils, or as many as they had in their previous 17 beforehand. Here's De Ligt, told to shoot by the crowd, doesn't do so, whipped it in instead, reverses it as Fernandez swings it out to Mazraoui. Cuts it back to De Ligt, who dinks it in again, headed away by Tosin again. And Dorgu battling there with Reece James, right for the Man United throw-in. Mazraoui out to Mbeumo down the right hand side. Mbeumo's ball in, headed away by Tosin. And João Pedro trying to create something there. He was caught. Referee says no foul. Play on. Pedro slowly gets back to his feet. Here's Dorgu, blocked in the near side by Reece James as he tried to cross. Look at that. Since the goal, there's been very little in the game. Shot apiece. Neither side have had a shot on target and a 50-50 possession rate. So it's not been all conquering for Man United since they opened the scoring. They've had 7 shots so far, United, but as I said, 6 of those have come before the goal in the 14th minute. That was 18 minutes ago now. So they certainly come out flying out of the traps. Maybe have just tried to settle into this game a little more, have United. There's a ball flicked over the top. Again, just brought down by Fernandez. And then Mbeumo feeds it in behind. Ahmad made the run in behind the Chelsea defence at the byline. looking for some sort of cutback as he tried to get it across the byline. But the ball had already crossed it. Goal kick. Yeah, Matt tried his best there. Just took too much of a touch and goes behind for a goal kick before he could dink it in. He just tries to take it past Tosin here, and it did cross the byline. Flicked across and headed in by Casemiro, but it's quite clear. Jorgensen to take this goal kick. Header won by Harry Maguire. Chalobah having to deal with the pressure of Mbeumo. Chalobah did well there. So he plays it back to Jorgensen under pressure from Šeško. Wait for the 50-50 there with Reece James was Dorgu. No one there to try and help him or take the ball down. And now Chelsea have it with João Pedro. Man United players chase back. Pedro with one or two options ahead of him, and as he's felt he was caught there by Mazraoui. Again, the referee sees no issue, and Man United spring away with the ball. Mbeumo, lovely little turning flick, finding Mazraoui. Chested down by Benjamin Šeško. A bit of space here. Šeško rolls it through for Ahmad. Ahmad trying to chop back. He cuts it back for Mbeumo. Crowded area. Back to Ahmad again. Whips it round the far end. Mazraoui directed it well wide. And he was offside anyway, Noussair Mazraoui. Well, VAR were and are still looking at a penalty. It's not much in that for me. João Pedro goes over far too easily. I mean, Mazraoui, clear attempt to try and win the ball. There's just not much contact, if I'm honest. João Pedro knows what he's doing, in my opinion. He says, oh my God, but it certainly wasn't a penalty in my opinion. But it had VAR questioning it. So it certainly wasn't a blatant decision, but a decision of no penalty is the one that prevails. Probably correct in my opinion. There's a flick ball over the top again for United, and Jorgensen. Oh, he's come out of his goal and he's flicked it over, but he's given it to Bryan Mbeumo. He's tried to roll it through for Šeško, but not dealt with there. And Fofana comes sliding in. In those moments, Chelsea just look a little unnerved and trying to be too blasé about it, but the cold hard facts is they're down to 10 men, and when you're down to 10, you cannot be taking unnecessary risks. Chelsea seem to still think that they can battle in those moments and take those little risks. That's what's giving Man United these little glimpses at the moment. Bryan Mbeumo will take this corner on the right hand side. Corner taken short, comes all the way back out to Mazraoui, who will dink it deep. Round the back is Ahmad, cuts it back. Flecked away by Reece James. It's still alive as it's headed on and headed in at the back post for 2-0, and it's Casemiro. Chelsea couldn't clear it away. There was more than enough bodies to head it in for United, and it's Casemiro that gets the decisive one. Man United 2, Chelsea 0, and that is a goal in a good moment for United, one of which they kind of needed just to take the game and keep it away from Chelsea's grasp. And Casemiro, who headed in moments earlier, that one had gone across the byline before, but this one should stand. See, it comes from the corner again. Chelsea just unable to get anywhere near out of the box. It's Mazraoui's cross. It's kept alive round the back. It's Dorgu that heads it back into the mix. James clears it, half clears it. It's bouncing down. It's headed across, and Casemiro just heads it down into the far corner. He's onside, no question. Man United 2, Chelsea 0. Although there's a real issue here. All sorts has been happening since the goal. But I don't know what has happened. We'll see the replay. It's Enzo Fernandez and Shaw, maybe? Shaw just comes over and just shoves him for no reason. Then Dorgu gets himself involved in the mix. And then it just turns into a bit of rubbish. I mean, Enzo Fernandez does absolutely nothing there. I mean, that was just bizarre from Luke Shaw. I mean, what has he done? No offence, but what has he done to even deserve to go over and wind up an opponent? I mean, get a grip, really. Like, you're Manchester United, meant to be anyway, and you're trying to get on like that. I mean, everything in terms of luck, I gotta say, is going their way in this game. But the 2 goals, 2 good goals, no doubt about that. But just no need for any of that type of shit from Luke Shaw, really. Just pointless. Smile from Ruben Amorim. Not often we've seen him smile in the Man United dugout this season. But smile indeed is on his face as Chelsea still try and play out. They've got nothing to lose now. They're 2-0 down and a man down. Not even near half time yet. Here's Cucurella. Again, what in God's name? Wesley Fofana's given it away here. The ball taken across. Jorgensen's out of his goal. I mean, what on earth? What on earth are Chelsea doing? Do they know what sport they're playing? What on earth is going on? Somebody has got to have drugged the Chelsea players, because they're as dopey as anything here. And I'm really bizarre, some of the decisions they're making. I mean, this one, at a moment, I don't know, we're not going to see a replay, but literally a second ago, Wesley Fofana just stands there. I don't know what he's expecting to happen. I don't think he's expecting a magic genie to show up. I mean, I don't know what they expected. And some of the decisions Chelsea are making are absolutely crazy. And then Philip Jorgensen comes flying out of his goal to the far side. I'm like, you're a goalkeeper. Protect your goal. I mean, this is mental. It's another good challenge by De Ligt. I agree with you, Real English. All those changes just made things worse. I mean, Chelsea have been a complete calamity. Calamity. I mean, it's the fact that Man United weren't really pushing. Is the fact that they didn't add a second or a third, or hadn't added a second up until that point. Man United were just comfortable with the ball, and they weren't really going over egging it too much. They were just settling their own possession, and that's fair and that's fine for them to do. But that's why Chelsea hadn't conceded any further. It wasn't that they were playing well in the game, Chelsea. They were bizarre, doing some crazy things as they get a free kick here. To the right hand side, and Ahmad tracking back, riles up the crowd as he defends Reece James in that moment. Does go out for a Chelsea throw on the far side. I mean, the rain doesn't help the situation, but we're not getting into that sort of conversation that the rain is the main excuse for this, because you play in England. What do you expect? You're not on the Costa del Sol. Shaw defending strongly there. Puts it behind for the goal kick. 3.5 minutes to go the first half. And those are faces that are glum on the Chelsea bench. Alejandro Garnacho on that Chelsea bench as well. Not the return for him to Old Trafford in his new club. Maybe he would have been dreaming of. That dream of playing for Chelsea. How's that dream going for you? No. A bit overreacting. A bit. Just a little bit. It's a swing of a right leg there from Enzo Fernandez. It somehow wins the ball back for Chelsea. Chalobah back to Jorgensen. Wide to Chalaba on the left side. Now Cucurella. Again, trying to play one-touch football, Chelsea, and Man United closing them down, and that's lovely little 1-2. Almost made it into something there, as that's going to be a free kick between Benjamin Šeško and Bruno Fernandes. I mean, when you see from the far out angle, it doesn't look like the rain's that bad, and then you get the close-ups, and it's absolutely blinding rain. Lovely little 1-2 between Benjamin Šeško and Bruno Fernandes, and Šeško just beating off the ball, and then he bundles over the Chelsea defender. Well, there's something for you. Fewest touches in this game. Benjamin Šeško alongside the United goalkeeper Altay Bayın there. The joint fewest touches. Here's a ball into the box, and here's a swipe from Mbeumo. Diving challenge there from Cucurella. He did win the ball, but he came in quite late. That's going to be a yellow card. Mazraoui stayed down. I mean, Chelsea have absolutely lost it. I mean, what is that challenge? That is absolutely horrendous from Marc Cucurella. I mean, they've absolutely lost their heads here, Chelsea. They can't. Half-time can't come quick enough. I mean, he's arguing with the referee here, Cucurella, but he came in two-footed, both feet off the ground. He is lucky that that's a yellow card, because if he had made decent contact there, Chelsea could be down to 9 here. Never mind anything else. Terrible decision to make a challenge like that. I mean, Enzo Maresca, I don't know what he's told his players, but if there's ever such a thing as throwing cups and plates around the dressing room ever in this day and age, I think Enzo Maresca would be throwing them in galore. He'd be wrecking the place, and his players could have no argument against that. As we're about to hit the 45-minute mark, we'll see how long will be added on at the end of this first half. 9 added minutes. 9 minutes. Shows how crazy this first half's been. Bruno Fernandes, free kick, right-footed. Headed away at the near post by Cucurella. André Santos as Cucurella fires away once more. This is just mental, this game of football. That's a deep cross by Casemiro. It will swing back out wide for Dorgu. Now whipped in from the left side. Tosin couldn't get a clean clearance on it, but it is fired away. Well, can Man United find another? Here's Mbeumo swinging it across. Ball bouncing down around the edge of the box. De Ligt with a good touch, but away by Fofana. One-way traffic again here. Dorgu. Back from Shaw to Maguire and back to Shaw again. Well, Chelsea v Man United is the most drawn fixture in Premier League history. I don't think we're going to get a draw here unless something crazy happens. You never know. Finished level 27 times in the Premier League era. 14 of those have come at Old Trafford. Everton against Spurs at Goodison is the only fixture at a specific venue to be drawn more often in the Premier League. 17 times at one single venue. You got to say, Man United haven't destroyed Chelsea, certainly. They haven't been pushing for 3 and 4 and 5, but they've really not needed to, because there is literally zero threat from Chelsea whatsoever in this first half. They have collapsed completely. Casemiro lays it off for Fernandes, try to feed it through. Welcome back at him at some pace there, Fernandes, as he picks it up. Finding Shaw. Out wide it goes. Ball fired across. Away by Tosin again, and the offside flag has gone up against one of the United players there. It was Benjamin Šeško that was in an offside position. We're not going to make too much of a glossing about it for Man United. At this moment in time, they needed a last-minute penalty to beat Burnley here at Old Trafford a few weeks ago. It was their only win of the season in all competitions, so it's not been plain sailing for United. If there was a way to lose or a way to not win a game, Man United find a way. Beaten comfortably in the derby last week by City. Drew away at Fulham and then beaten here by Arsenal on the opening day of the season. And of course, let's not forget about that League 2 dumping that they had in the Carabao Cup. Premier League is their only show in town for them at the moment. The only other competition Man United are actually in is in the FA Cup, but they haven't exited that yet because it hasn't started for the Premier League sides and won't start till January. Caicedo tries to poke one through. A rare moment of Chelsea players in the United half, and a rare touch of the ball there for Altay Bayindir. Gets it away quickly. Nicely taken down by Casemiro. Fernandes going for the switch. Not dealt with on that occasion. Just recycling the football are Chelsea. That's a nice ball through. Here's Andre Santos. Got in behind the Man United midfield and he was wrestled to the ground there. Took the referee a split second to figure it out, and he's going to be off here, Casemiro. This game's going even crazier. Casemiro's off. What an unbelievable first half. Andre Santos wrestled to the ground. Casemiro on a yellow, and he's been sent off. What in earth? See this again. It's fabulous from Andre Santos. Good touch. And then he just drags him down. He drags him by his shoulder. I mean, that's really silly from Casemiro. That is absolutely silly. Really silly. My goodness me. I can't believe I've had to say this. Been 2 red cards in this game. Enzo Maresca's been given a yellow card as well. So Casemiro, another yellow card, which means that is red. And he is off. This game's gone from bizarre to even more bloody bizarre. And we're not even at half time yet. We've still another, what, 3-4 minutes to go before half time? This has got to be the craziest first half of Premier League football. Certainly this season. But for quite a while. Maybe that's... I said this game could still turn. I mean, in the most unlikely and most crazy of circumstances. But here at Chelsea end of the box. Cucurella! Shot fired over the bar. Who knows? Who knows indeed? Nice ball in behind, and Cucurella on the half turn, and it was a narrow angle for him. Couldn't keep the shot down. Well, there is a glimpse, and nothing more of hope for Enzo Maresca. 2-0 down, but now the game is levelled at 10 apiece for the players on the field. And Ruben Amorim, he was smiling a few moments ago. Well, he's thrown the water bottle to the ground, because that is a dreadful decision from Casemiro. On a yellow in a game where you're against 10 men, you're 2-0 up, you're cruising, and he makes a decision like that to get himself sent off. Real English says, with this kind of stupidity, you would never even say that Casemiro used to play for Real Madrid. It's just really clumsy. I mean, I get that it wasn't the most horrendous challenge, but denial of what is the term? Stopping a positive attack or something like that. It's been a crazy game. My head's all over the place. Cross in from Chelsea, just right through the 6-yard box and out the other end. But it's one of those where it's a yellow card. It's just a really cynical foul. It's just nothing in it. And on a yellow, you give the referee a question to ask. You know, you ask the referee that question of, are you going to send me off, ref? Are you going to give me that second yellow? And Peter Banks, I think correctly, says yeah. I mean, it's just mad. But for Chelsea, as I said, it's one of those where it's a glimmer. The slimmest of glimmers, but a glimmer nonetheless that they might be able to get themselves back into this game. But it is going to be some hell of a crazy second half with both teams now lost an extra man. It's going to be... Well, certainly what we do know is Ruben Amorim is not going to be playing 3-4-3 because it's physically and mathematically impossible because he's down to 10. So maybe the Pope has changed his system. Maybe the Pope's powers has changed the system. I don't know. I don't even know anymore. Chris T says, I think we're in for a wild second half now. We're back to 10-10. If we're in for a wild second half, we've already had a wild first half. I mean, I'm not complaining. I don't support either team, but it makes it better for the neutral, but at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. It's about, can Chelsea be better than Man United with the same number of players on the field? And even before the red card for Chelsea, Man United were the better team in the early moments, so there's no guarantees that that's the case. There's going to be a free kick here. A foul on Patrick Dorgu. Paul says, I'm sorry, I'm a Liverpool fan, but that was never a sending off or a booking. A foul, yes, but never a yellow. We'll talk about it at half-time, because the half-time whistle is just gone. And it is, after a crazy first half, this is one of the most bizarre half-time kind of collections that I'm going to bring you this season. It's been mental. It is certainly our game of the week. It's one to watch here at Old Trafford. It is Man United 2, Chelsea 0 at half-time. But crazily, both teams are down to 10. We've got a wild second half on the way. Do join us for analysis of the first half and all a roundup of all today's games in just a few minutes. Do stay with us. Sure, one last kick. This is going to be it. This is the moment. Vicario kicks this. And Liverpool are there. Liverpool are Premier League champions. And there it comes. Crystal Palace, for the very first time in their history, are FA Cup winners. Oh, he's found the net. Oh, what a goal. Kvaratskhelia is through, wants to add a fourth, and does so. Ahmad, oh my goodness me. That is absolutely unbelievable. Rice again. Oh! You thought he couldn't beat the first one. He's gone and battered it. Another whip ball in. The header is in by Virgil van Dijk. Incredible. Welcome back to Premier League Live. Half time at Old Trafford. It's Man United 2, Chelsea 0, but it is 10v10 at Old Trafford. What an unbelievably crazy first half. Let's just bring you through it chronologically. It all started when Man United came out with the traps flying. They were fantastic from the first few minutes, United, and it created this sort of pressure that Chelsea just couldn't conjure up and couldn't continue with in the first 5-6 minutes. And it led to this unbelievably crazy decision from Robert Sanchez to come flying out at Brian Mbeumo. Mbeumo, the ball was already gone. He knew exactly what he was doing. It was smart from Mbeumo, but absolutely terrible from Robert Sanchez. Took his man out, was shown a straight red card, and Chelsea were down to 10 in minutes and lost their goalkeeper. Jorgensen came on. They lost a couple of attackers. Enzo Maresca made a number of substitutions. Bruno Fernandes then gave Man United the lead. Patrick Dorgu's header flicked on and Fernandes fired in. There was a VAR check to make sure it was onside. He was, by the slimmest of margins, but he was onside. Then it was 2-0 when Casemiro headed in at the back post after what was a pretty calamitously defended moment from Chelsea. And then, if it wasn't crazy enough, after getting a yellow card in the 17th minute, Casemiro was shown a second yellow in the 50th minute of the first half to mean it was 10v10. It is one of the craziest first halves I've seen this season. It is pure mental at Old Trafford, and we're only halfway through this game. Absolute craziness. As I was saying, Paul was saying about didn't think it was a second yellow. I think, as I was saying in that moment, it's just clumsy from Casemiro. I think when you're on a yellow card, if you weren't on a yellow card, it's a good foul. It's what you call that kind of, it's a tactical foul. You take the man down, you stop the attack, you take the yellow card. But when you're on a yellow card, don't risk anything like that. You're 2-0 up, you're against 10 men, you're cruising, you're nearly there to half time. Just get to half time, kind of rest, reset, and go out again and try and get this game and put it to bed for good. But making clumsy challenges, making silly decisions, just completely puts that all up in the air now. And I'm not saying that Man United are going to throw this away just because they've got a red card, but it puts it at a more balanced game. And who knows? But I think overall, it's just a mental first half, and I don't think there's any logic that can be applied to any of this first half. I think this is more than tactics. This is just mental. Mental is the perfect word. Right, we didn't get telling you before the game about our stats for our game of the week, but this is our game of the week. This is the context that these two teams have come into this one, of course. Man United lost 2 of their 4 Premier League games this season. Man United were knocked out, of course, of the Carabao Cup in August by Grimsby Town. Chelsea unbeaten in their 4 league games this season, 1-2 drawn 2, and they lost in midweek to the champions in the Champions League to Bayern Munich. 3-1 loss there for them. These are the last 5 meetings between the sides. Chelsea winning the last one on the second to last day of the season at Stamford Bridge. They drew here last season early in the campaign. It was a mad finish, 4-3 between these two in the end of 2024. If we remember that game, 2 late goals from Chelsea turned it from 3-2 United to 4-3 Chelsea, and then back-to-back home victories for United prior to that in the season prior. But what a dramatic first half, and we're only halfway through it. Let's recap what we've already seen then today for you at this halfway stage. It's been a very entertaining day in the Premier League. As you can see, before this game, all 10 teams that had taken to the field this afternoon had scored. It all started at lunchtime when the champions entertained Everton in the Merseyside derby at Anfield. It was Liverpool who took a 2-goal lead, as they have done on a number of occasions this season. The first goal coming from Ryan Gravenberch, beautifully sweep finish by Pickford to make it 1-0. It was then 2-0 when Ugo Ekitike slotted past Pickford to add to Liverpool's lead. But Everton fought back in the second half, with Idrissa Gueye getting on the score sheet, but not enough to get Everton anything out of the game, and Liverpool make it 5 wins out of 5 for Arne Slot's team this campaign. Into the 3 o'clockers, those are the scores, but let's analyse them in more depth. Let's go to the game at the Amex. It was a cracker of a match between Brighton and Spurs. We'll start with the home side, who took a 2-goal lead in that game. 2 goals inside 30 odd minutes. Yankuba Minta inside 8 minutes, set up by Jorginho Ruter, gave the hosts the lead. Yasin Ayari then added to that lead on the 31st minute to make it 2-0. The deficit was cut in half by Richarlison when he found the net just before half-time to give Spurs a little glimmer of hope that they could get back into the game. And when Jean-Paul Van Hecke put it into his own net, it was 2-2, 8 minutes from time, and the points were shared between Brighton and Spurs. In terms of the stats, as you can see there, it was it was an even game overall. Spurs dominated the possession, but every other aspect was a fair tussle. Brighton just edged the shots on target, and just edged the XG. But on the day, it was to be Brighton and Spurs, not to be separated, a 2-2 draw in that one at the Amex. A big point at home for Burnley after they were so harshly beaten in the last 2 games by late penalties to Man United away and Liverpool at home. They picked up a big point under Scott Parker at home against Ange Postecoglou's Nottingham Forest, who were looking for their first points under their manager. It was Forest that had first blow. It was Nico Williams inside 2 minutes gave Nottingham Forest the lead, but that was to be the end of their scoring on the day, despite their 17 shots. Jadon Anthony then equalised shortly afterwards for Burnley to make it 1-1. There was nothing to be done there on in but substitutes and yellow cards, and in the end it was a point apiece shared. As you can see, a lot of the game dominated by Nottingham Forest, possession, stats, the shots on target and the XG. But on the balance of plays, you can see from the XG it's pretty fair that game ended a very tight 1-1-all. So a big point for Burnley. We'll show you what that means for the table in a moment. To another game, this one in East London, and a narrow defeat, but a defeat nonetheless for the 4th time this season for West Ham United, and it was Crystal Palace that were picking up the points at the London Stadium. It was an opener from Jean-Philippe Mateta, who put 2 past West Ham last season. He is the man that gave them a half-time lead for Palace. It was then 1-1 when Jared Bowen found the back of the net not long into the second half. You thought maybe that could be a battle back. It could be a real firing back for West Ham in the game, but no, it wasn't to be. Tyreek Mitchell in the 68th minute made it 2-1 to Crystal Palace, and that was all she wrote in East London. West Ham had more possession, but look at the shots that Crystal Palace had, 18 on the day. Both sides had only 3 shots on target, but the XG massively in Crystal Palace's favour, and deservedly coming away with all 3 points. Speaking of leaving places with all 3 points, for the first time this season, Leeds come away with a victory on the road, a 3-1 win for Leeds, and it is Wolves that are the team to lose out to that. It was an early goal for Wolves that gave them the lead in that one. Ladislav Krejci opened the scoring, but it was a quick first half turnaround from Leeds United. Dominic Calvert-Lewin levelled before Anton Stack gave Leeds the advantage before it was 3-1 just before half time when Noah Okafor got his first in Leeds colours. He was set up by Anton Stack, and that made it 3-1. All goals coming in the first half of that one, and a big 3 points on the road for Leeds United after losing so harshly last weekend to Fulham, and that own goal that denied them a point on the road there last week. But as you can see, the stats actually flattered Wolves a little bit, or flattered the scoreline flattered Leeds. The stats certainly proved that Wolves were much more in the game than the scoreline suggested. A lot more possession, more shots, 16-6. There's 6 shots on target as well, and the XG, but it was Leeds that came away with all 3 points. Clinical on the day was Daniel Farke's team. That was all of our games this Saturday afternoon. Let's show you what that means for the table then. Liverpool topped the tree, 15 points out of a possible 15. 5 wins out of 5 for the champions. Spurs jump up to second after their victory, or their draw, on the road away at Brighton. 10 points out of 15 for them. 3 wins, a draw and a defeat for Thomas Frank's side. Arsenal are in third. They can jump back up to second with a victory at home against Man City tomorrow. That would put them up to second on 12 points, but they're on 9 out of 4 games at the moment. Palace up to fourth with 9 points. from 5. Their next opponents are the champions Liverpool. That's going to be a tasty affair at Selhurst. Bournemouth up to 5th, or dropping down to 5th actually. They were up into the top 4 today. They're on 9 points. They're yet to play, of course. They play Newcastle at home tomorrow. Chelsea will be dropping to 6th. They're losing away at Man United, so that will be their first defeat of the season. They will be in 8 points. They would stay in 8 points as it stands. Sunderland on in 7th, and Everton up down to 8th after they started the day inside the top 6. For the bottom of the table, disregard Man United for the second because they would be jumping way up the table, but it would be the same bottom 3. Wolves rock bottom, 5 defeats out of 5, 0 points to their name. Only the 6th side in English football history to do that. Aston Villa yet to score this season. They are away to Sunderland tomorrow, and West Ham jump down to that bottom 3. Their 4th defeat in 5 Premier League matches this season. Right, that's the way it looks. The second half at Old Trafford is on the way in just a moment. It is 2-0 to United, but both teams have had a man sent off. Second half on the way next. Welcome back to Premier League Live. Half time, it is Man United 2, Chelsea 0. At the break, a reminder for you, we have got Monday night action from the Championship to bring you on Monday evening. It is Millwall taking on Watford at the Den, and that is going to be a tasty one on Monday night. Looking forward to that one to bringing you to conclude this weekend, and some big action coming next week as well for you. But still, one half of football to go this weekend in the Premier League here in LFS, and it is Man United who lead by 2-0. But as I said, both teams have had a player sent off. Casemiro sent off late for a second yellow in that first half, and Robert Sanchez was sent off after 5 minutes for Chelsea. It was a mad first half, and it is undoubtedly going to be a crazy second half, I would suggest. Looks like Man United are going to make a change here. Manuel Ugarte is coming on, and Benjamin Šeško is coming off. So Šeško off and Ugarte on, so some extra midfield quality after Casemiro was sent off. So trying to even things up. Joseph Rui with £2 super chat. Thank you very much indeed, Joseph, for getting involved. And you don't have to send money, but that is fantastically appreciated. So thank you very much indeed. Do like, subscribe and turn on post notifications. They are all free. If you would do so, that would be greatly appreciated. We're very close to 30,000 subscribers. If you could help us get there, that would be amazing. Right, almost ready to go then. Man United kicking towards the Stretford end in the second half. They lead by 2-0. A third goal would surely put this game to bed, no matter how many players on the field either team has. But at 2-0, the most dangerous scoreline in football, with an even field in terms of the players, anything can still happen. The next goal would be crucial, and is crucial. Chelsea will get us underway in a second, whenever the referee decides that that is I don't know what's going on here. It's an issue. That's bizarre. I mean, this game gets crazier and crazier. But I got a shot of some guy running around the perimeter of the pitch to put a ball on a cone. That's what's delayed the second half. Getting under. This game couldn't get any crazier if it tried to. I mean, my goodness me, what in God's name? Just blow the whistle and get the second half underway, will you? Crowd, they're still going. My God. I mean, really? That big a deal? Second half underway. That is crazy. Absolute madness. This game is crazy beyond belief. That wasn't even part of the game. This just the whole experience is mental. Mental beyond belief. We are now underway and playing football. The ball comes back to Philip Jorgensen here. Only 45 minutes. As I said, it's Man United still with everything in their favour at the minute with that scoreline. It is a commanding scoreline, but a scoreline that you never know. As Maguire commits a foul on João Pedro there. Free kick taken, but you saw how sodden the pitch was with the water. So it'll be a much more tricky game to get the balance and the bounce of the ball in the second half, as Reece James headed that one, but off the back of his head and out for a Chelsea throw, or a Man United throw, sorry, down the left side. By Indir. Fires it long. Header by Fofana into the mix. Another player goes down, but slipped that time. And Luke Shaw was the one involved, as Maguire's ball forward was to no one in red. And Mbeumo's the only one up there for United at the moment. Trying to figure out what way United are actually playing here. With Šeško going off and Ugarte coming on, so they're going to have more midfielders, but Mbeumo will go central, maybe Ahmad will come to the right, Fernandes to the left, maybe, in terms of wide midfielders. It's going to be a Chelsea throw. I mean, you got to say, Ruben Amorim can't stand in his own technical box here. Might have to go swimming, get his swimming trunks on there, Ruben Amorim. The water is just lying in that technical area. Like a little swimming pool down there. I mean, the weather is absolutely horrendous. That's certainly not helped this game. There's going to be a free kick here. The referee's taking his time to make decisions, and he's given a foul and a yellow card for Enzo Fernandez. I think this referee cannot wait to get out of this place and wait to blow this final whistle, because this has been one of the most awful conditioned games ever. And Ugarte and Fernandez, I mean, the weather doesn't make it any easier. You know, you don't know what's a slip, what's a foul, what's a terrible challenge. I mean, really, it's just created a bit of chaos. The weather, it's, as I said, not helped the game. Free kick here for Man United, down the left-hand side. And Mbeumo over it. At the Stretford end. Left-footed delivery. Didn't quite reach the box, but a half clearance by Reece James. Hit his own man in Cucurella at the near side, but cleared away by Chelsea eventually. And Mbeumo comes right back at it though. He's running through himself, and Dorgu tried to help out, but Fofana getting in the way of that one. Fofana was caught a little late there. It's going to be another free kick. This time to Chelsea. Well, there was a little issue at 3 o'clock this afternoon in one of the 3 o'clock games in the Championship where the weather was concerned. Blackburn Rovers had a game abandoned against Ipswich. They were leading by a goal to nil against 10-man Ipswich, and the match was abandoned due to how horrible the conditions were on the Ewood Park pitch. And the game was abandoned not long before the end of the game, about 79 minutes. There's another late challenge. It's going to be another yellow card coming out. This time Trevor Chalobah gets an invitation into the referee's book. Yeah. Just come in quite overzealous there. It's not much, but it is. He did catch the foot of Ahmad, and that is a yellow card. I mean, that pitch is like a swimming pool. The water is bouncing off it. I mean, it's takes some job for the irrigation system underneath this pitch to try and keep it clear. Free kick here for Man United down the right hand side. Bruno Fernandes to take. Right footed delivery. Handed away by Chalaba there. Right off by Andre Santos. And Chelsea might have a counter attack on here. João Pedro just behind his man. And then nipping in to win it back is Mazraoui in a very unorthodox position. Almost as the centre forward here. Mazraoui lays it out wide to Ahmad. He's got Santos on his back heels there, and Dorgu challenged. Challenged fairly, said the referee, as Dorgu challenges again and wins a Man United throw, or so they thought. Chelsea throw. Gotta say, match of the day. Will have an absolute field day with this game of football. If this game is not the first on a match of the day, I don't know what will be. It has to be. This or maybe the Merseyside derby, but this has to be up there because it's just pure mental. I mean, it's like everybody on the pitch just took psychedelic drugs before the game and we're all just watching a hallucination. It's just bizarre. And the weather makes it crazy. It just makes it a whole fever dream. Wesley Fofana. Back to Tosin. Across now to Chalaba. It's a straight through ball by Tosin. And tried to find João Pedro. And Bayindir came flying for that one. I mean, his defender had that under control. But Bayindir wanted a rare touch on the ball. And his rare touch sends it flying out for a throw on the far side. I mean, he's just getting soaked there by in there. He's barely been involved in the game. I mean, Chelsea have had 2 shots in this one, none of them on target, so he's not had to make a save so far by in there, which is rare for him and rare for Man United. And Chelsea make a mess of that moment down the left-hand side. It looks like the former Man United player, Alejandro Garnacho, is going to be entering the fray shortly. At this stage, I think that will be Chelsea's final substitution because they made a double sub, then made another single sub. That's 3 subs, but in 2 different windows. They have 1 window left, so they either make 1 or a double one in one go. Chelsea. It looks like maybe Garnacho might be that option. At least one of those options. Santos gets a little heavy touch on a rebound as Maguire was the one he tried to challenge and goes down. Does Andre Santos, and he's hurt himself in the process here. Maguire having none of it. Santos is down and in need of treatment, says the referee. So we do have the stoppage here, and he's trying to call the medical staff on. Yeah, we see it again, Andre Santos. He just caught him in the face there, just accidental. There's nothing really in that. There's nothing really in that, if I'm honest, at all. Maguire just does enough to hold off the player. It's not foul. It might have hurt Andre Santos. But of course he has the right to treatment if he feels and deems it's necessary, and the referee does. No. No. Andre Santos back to his feet. Harry Maguire still remonstrating. It's João Pedro there. I mean, there's just nothing in that at all. And the 4th official making sure that Andre Santos doesn't return to the field of play any sooner than he should be allowed. 30 seconds, of course. The official rules. So Chelsea now have 8 outfield players at this minute in time. To Man United's 9 outfield players. When have you ever seen 17 outfield players on one pitch? Very rarely does it happen. And there's a through ball here for Mbeumo. Trying to use it to their advantage at the minute, Man United, that extra man that they have. But, well, one back by Caicedo, but he runs into his opposite number in Ugarte. And Man United win it back again. Mazraoui works it back across to Luke Shaw. Now Santos is back onto the field. So it's 9v9 out there on the outfield. 10v10, of course, including the goalkeepers. 9v9 out in the outfield. Mbeumo on the right side, seen out of play by Caicedo. Throw into Man United. I gotta say, you couldn't pay me much. You'd have to pay me a lot to be there in this stadium right now, because the weather is horrendous. Absolutely horrendous. It's not anybody's dream. That's a nice through ball by Fernandez. Dorgu into the box. Tried to clip it. It's cleared away by Chalobah. Brought back by Bruno Fernandes. He will fire it round the back post now towards Mbeumo. It just curled away from Mbeumo as he was reaching the box there. Goal kick. Ruben Amorim trying to share some deep-thoughted tactical knowledge with his players. Eight minutes gone of the second half here at Old Trafford. 8 minutes? I can't count. 12 minutes gone of the second half. I mean, this game's sent me mental. 12 minutes gone of the second half. We've not really had much goal-mouth action. There hasn't been a shot in the game, but it's been more in slightly Man United's favour in the final third than Chelsea's. So really the evening up of the players hasn't really changed much so far. Although there's a rare breakaway for Chelsea, and it's a 2-on-1. It's João Pedro. He's got one man in the middle and Enzo Fernandez if he can find them, but he's got 2 to get past himself here. And he's well challenged back there. Caicedo keeps it alive. Reece James now. Back to Caicedo, who can try and roll it through, but well blocked by Luke Shaw, who barely had the brick of sweat to get there. And Andre Santos had the last touch off of Mazraoui. Clearance. Man United throw. A rare foray forward there for Chelsea. Trying to work something out tactically there, Enzo Maresca and his coaching staff. Mazzy Fofana looks to be in a little bit of bother here. Doesn't look comfortable. Hobbly a little bit there. Mazzy Fofana. He strides on to the ball. Making the run. Fofana. Out wide it goes to Reece James. Fofana again. Caicedo to Tosin. Keeping the ball moving at the minute, Chelsea. João Pedro looking to switch it. Beautifully taken down by Reece James. Down the right side, makes a break towards the box. Reece James lifts one up to the back post. It's cleared away by Man United, as Tosin does well to recycle it. This is better from Chelsea. Reece James. Back to Tosin. The travelling Chelsea supporters saying, "Come on, Chelsea," in that away end at Old Trafford. They need the next goal to make this a contest again. That next goal is crucial for Chelsea to have a springboard here. Enzo Fernandez. To Wesley Fofana. Back to Fernandez. Looking to find options. Goes back to Fofana. 1-2s. Reece James back to Fofana. Chalobah works it inside, but under pressure there was Caicedo, who was caught by Ugarte. A free kick to Chelsea. As we hit the hour mark inside Old Trafford. United 2, Chelsea 0. 10v10. After both teams had a player sent off in the first half. And the rain is still teeming down, and it doesn't look like easing up anytime soon. It was a damp day in the Merseyside derby earlier this afternoon when we watched it, but not quite anywhere near this type of level of rain. Chelsea just trying to stride and keep possession. In the second half, it's Chelsea that have had the vast majority of the ball, 72% possession for the visitors to Old Trafford. João Pedro wanted a way through there. Maguire didn't allow him and wanted a foul there, Chelsea, but not going to get one for that sort of situation. Here is João Pedro finding Enzo Fernandez. Lays it out wide. Reece James on the overlap. Gets it across! And that's a good clearance by De Ligt. He needed to make it. And he sent it flying away. Again, the first real time we've seen Chelsea break down this right-hand side. Reece James was offside anyway. It didn't really matter. But De Ligt did well to clear it away. He didn't know on that occasion. And Reece James on the overlap put that ball across the box. It was offside anyway. Reece James, but nonetheless. Substitution here for Man United. Brandon Bomo's day is done and dusted. And they're going to see the return of Matthäus Cunha, who had a spell out with injury a couple of weeks. They're not going to make... Are they going to make that change? I mean, what? When you think it can't get any crazier, and Bomo came over to get taken off and make a substitution, Matthäus Cunha's there waiting to be taken off, but they're not going to make the substitution yet. I think this is maybe why, because they're defending a corner. Maybe shouldn't have been a corner, because Reece James was offside, but the corner anyway given. Right hand side, Reece James, right footed, whipped it in, flicked on and headed in! And it's Wesley Fofana, but the flag's up. It's not going to count. The most popular man inside Old Trafford is that assistant referee there. See this again. Reece James whips it in. Flicked on. He's miles offside. I mean, that's just obvious. And if it left that Wesley Fofana, they might have had a chance there, Chelsea. But he was miles offside. And he headed it in from about a yard out. I mean, it's the most obvious offside you've ever seen. But you never know, that might... moment, despite not counting, might spark something. Right, changes of foot then. Chelsea going to make a double substitution, and they're now going to make this change, Man United. And we'll tell you about those substitutions in a second, as Wesley Fofana's last action was heading into the Man United net, but from an offside position. He's been taken off alongside Marco Correa, and they've been replaced by Tyrick George and Malo Gusto. So maybe going to a back four again now, Chelsea. Bringing a defender off for Tyrick George, who's a centre forward. And the change is going to be made here for Man United. Mazraoui's coming off. And coming on in his place is Matthäus Cunha. I don't know how they got Brandon Bomo and Noussair Mazraoui mixed up, because their numbers are nowhere near the same. They might be just bald men with beards, but that's got nothing to do with squad numbers. Substitution made there by Man United. Cunha back on the field for the first time since he was injured in the Man United win over Burnley before the international break. He's back out there on the Old Trafford pitch, at least for the next 25 minutes. to try and get Man United over the line here. If Chelsea can get a goal, anything is still possible. I say that with a little tongue-in-cheek, but you never know. As George tried to force it through the middle there, he just kind of played it off. Luke Shaw. Really, no real threat there. Man United have won 2 of their last 3 home Premier League matches. It's as many as they had in their previous 11 at Old Trafford combined. We're looking for consecutive home league victories within the same season and under the same manager for the first time since December of 2023, when they done that under Eric Ten Hag. That's mental. They haven't had back-to-back league victories under the same manager in nearly 2 years, Man United. That's mental. And in the second half, they've not had a shot, United, and Chelsea have had a lot of the possession, so it's been a real regression from Man United from where they were in the first half, but they've got that 2-goal cushion. Chelsea haven't created much either, so it's not like they've been tormented. Reece James back to Andre Santos. Caicedo, nice link up with Santos again. Reece James down the right. Back inside to Enzo Fernandez. Swinging it round an impossible corner. And that's guided back by Ahmad to Bayindir, who sends it flying. Taken down by Tosin, who heads it out wide, and neither here nor there between Malo Gusto and Trevor Chalobah. Through into Man United. Well, back here with Dorgu. Switching. Nicely retrieved by Tosin. Look at the space here. Brought down for Santos, and he works it off the back line, trying to find it through to Tyreek George, as he tried to wrestle for the ball. Wrestled the Man United player to the ground. Free kick to United. Well, Brandon Bomo, he seems to love playing against Chelsea. He's been involved in 6 goals in 7 previous appearances in the Premier League against Chelsea. 3 goals, 3 assists. They, of course, all came when he played for Brentford, but all of those goal involvements came at Stamford Bridge. It is the joint most goals and assists against a single opponent, with none coming at home soil by any player in Premier League history. So we'll see what he can produce in the return game when these two meet later in the season at the Bridge in April. And that's a stat we had to throw in there. Here's Matheus Cunha, first real run at the Chelsea defence. Darts it back across, and a little deflection in there takes it away from United. As João Pedro was on the scene, Tyreek George comes away with the ball. Well challenged by Bruno Fernandes down that right-hand side. Speaking of Bruno Fernandes, this is his 200th Premier League appearance. Is the 28th player to reach that milestone in Man United's history in the Premier League. 51 assists. Only David Beckham has more assists in his first 200 Premier League appearances than Bruno Fernandes in the club's history. He had 62. Man United are going to make more subs then. Lenny Yoro and Mason Mount are coming on. Brian Mbeumo is now going to be coming off after that earlier confusion. So he's coming off, as is Harry Maguire. Interesting. So Yoro off for Maguire and Mount coming on for Cunha. Or not Cunha, sorry, Mbeumo. So Mbeumo and Maguire off, Mount and Yoro on. Man United still have 1 substitution left to be made. Chelsea already made all of their 5 subs. by India. Long kick again to no one in red. 20 minutes or so to go here at Old Trafford. United lead by 2-0. Chelsea not created much. And they were earlier on eyeing up an Alejandro Garnacho change, but clearly they went against that in the end and did make their final subs of the evening. Deciding to bring on Tyreek George instead. It's a good challenge by Chalobah. Finding Malo Gusto now. As I said, one goal can change it. The next goal is crucial. United get it, it's game over. If Chelsea get it, it's game on. At the minute, we're in this kind of limbo area where United are not worried about 2-0 and Chelsea really aren't threatening to try and get back into the game. Tosin. Right, it came to Gusto. It's kept alive as Santos was clattered there in the midfield, but he's got back to his feet and laid it out wide again here. George. João Pedro. Nicely challenged there by Bruno Fernandes. Man United is passing around, finding Shaw. I mean, Man United have looked at ease defending Chelsea at many times this afternoon. As Altay Bayindir gets upended. That's going to be a free kick. Tyreek George a bit too excited to try and win the ball. It's going to be a free kick. And it's also going to be a yellow card. It's definitely yellow. It's definitely a foul. Yeah, it's just late. He's hurt himself by in there, but he should be okay to get back to his feet. As I said, for all of this second half possession, Chelsea have had just one shot. Neither side have had a shot on target. It's not been the most glamorous second half. The game's just kind of fallen flat a little bit in this second period. Neither side have really taken the game by the scruff of the neck to try and get the next goal. That's what has, as I said, in this kind of limbo kind of situation at the minute. The way this game's going, you never say never, because it's been the most bizarre game of football in recent history, certainly that I've seen. That's a nice ball by Fernandes. Out wide it goes, down the right here to Ahmad. Ahmad cuts it back to find Fernandes, who felt he was fouled. You could hear the screams, they were audible. And Caicedo was the one that committed the foul. It's a free kick to Man United, and now another scuffle has unfolded, which the referee has to get his head around and figure out. Enzo Fernandez and Mamadou Ugarte just having a little debrief there of that whole situation, and I don't think Peter Banks has a clue what's just happened. From the look on his face. I mean it's a foul, but it's not the worst thing in the world. I mean, what's that all about? Yeah, I mean, that's just bizarre. Another one of those crazy moments in this game. Something out of nothing. Bruno Fernandes, free kick, right hand side. Referee telling the Chelsea defender on that side that he's too close. It's Andre Santos. Fernandes, right footed delivery, whips it in. Headed away at the near post, brought down on the edge of the box. De Ligt whips it back in round the back, and the shot is a cross goal and wide from Ahmad. He was diving at that one. Yeah, good delivery initially. Well headed away by Chalaba, brought down well. Down the left-hand side, whip back in by De Ligt to Ahmad. Excuse me, threw himself at it. Just couldn't get it on target. 15 minutes to go. Time more than running out for Chelsea. This will be back-to-back defeats for Chelsea if they don't find an unbelievable comeback, as that was nervy between Dorgu and Bayindir as Reece James was on the scene trying to put pressure. They do come away with it unscathed, Man United. It will be back-to-back defeats, as I said, for Chelsea, and a first league defeat of the season for them. Possession here for Chelsea. Chalaba. Cross now to Tosin. Reece James round the outside. Plays it down the right channel. Renzo Fernandez, but as he tried to get past De Ligt, there was no room to manoeuvre. And De Ligt dealt with that comfortably as Ugarte plays out from the back here. Shaw pokes one forward, but it's an indirect ball, and Caicedo lets that one run, and it skips away from him, and now Cunha finding Fernandez, and now trying to return the favour. Bruno Fernandes back to Matheus Cunha in behind. Well dealt with by Chalaba though, and Malo Gusto can retrieve and recycle. Back the way here to Philip Jorgensen, taken down by Reece James, who's surrounded by two, but gets the ball out to Enzo Fernandez, who was bundled over a little bit sloppily there from Luke Shaw. Looking to get it going quickly there, Fernandez, as he lays it off now for João Pedro down the right. Wanted a foul. He's going to get one from Matthijs de Ligt. Looked a little soft to me. Over-egging it a little bit there, João Pedro. Enzo Fernandez. Back to Caicedo. Chalaba, Santos. In the half spaces, Santos goes out wide to the left-hand side. Right-footed delivery. Cleared away by Ugarte. Better pressure from Chelsea. As I said, they get one goal, anything's still possible. There's more than enough time still in this game. That's a switch ball. Reece James out on the right-hand side on the overlap here. James tries the cross, blocked off the back of Shaw. Corner to Chelsea. It's only the second corner of the second half. Both Chelsea corners taken short by Reece James, whipped in by Fernandez, cleared away. Gusto recycles. Work back outside to Reece James. Back again to Trevor Chalaba. Reece James, body still up there for Chelsea if they need to get the ball into the box. Ball out wide here to Enzo Fernandez, round the corner to Gusto. We try to rescue the cross, blocked again by Shaw. Another Chelsea corner. Still without a shot on target today, Chelsea. Enzo Fernandez takes short. Reece James whips it into the box. The header is in! And this is a chance. Trevor Chalaba with a goal. And maybe this game isn't over just yet. I said if there was a will, there's a way. And if Chelsea get one back, you never know what can happen. Man United 2, Chelsea 1. It's a short corner again. Man United very lackadaisical to come out and defend it. Allow Reece James to whip it in. He's got a great cross on him. Great right foot on him, Reece James. Delivers it in perfectly. And Trevor Chalobah, unchallenged in the box. Completely unchallenged. And he fires in past a rooted Altay Bayindir. 2-1. 10 minutes to go. This game's mental to its core. But there could be another twist in the tale here at Old Trafford. Their first shot on target of the afternoon, of the night. And they score to Chelsea. It's made a very nervy atmosphere inside Old Trafford. And a very lively atmosphere in that far corner where the Chelsea fans reside. The game's been even in terms of personnel for all of the second half. Chelsea have had the more possession. Neither side had really threatened either goalkeeper. And that was the first real clear-cut chance of the second half, and Chelsea score. This game could still be on. As I said, their first shot on target of the night for Chelsea. Clinical. João Pedro trying to hold it off. He's very deep. Plays it back to Chalobah, who's just scored. And he's trying to switch the ball to the player that set him up, and Reece James. Finding Enzo Fernandez. The route to goal will be down this right side, it seems, for Chelsea. Reece James over the top. João Pedro into the box. Takes a touch. Lays it off. Reece James dinks it round the back. Headed away by Ahmad. And a good touch by Matheus Cunha, but Man United a little unnerved at the moment as Gusto tries to battle. And Cunha wins a throw-in down the right-hand side. Let's got into Maresca excited a little bit. I might have Ruben Amorim a little worried. That goal. Remember, there was a key defensive change. I looked weird. If you remember when the changes were made, I looked quite coyly at the fact that Harry Maguire was coming off and Lenny Yoro was coming on. And I thought, why has he taken him off when the whole headline this week for him was defending their own box? Oh, here comes Fernandez to try and rescue them, to try and give them a 2-goal advantage again. And Jorgensen forced into a good save. Puts it behind for the United corner. And Bruno Fernandes trying to rise the crowd again. It's a little sloppy from Reece James. As he tries to battle it back, he just can't win it back off Fernandes. And it's a good strike. Right by the edge of the box. With his right foot, a cross goal. And Philip Jorgensen forced into the dive to his right-hand side to put it wide. That's got the Stretford end going. It's got Man United fans going again. And Man United have a corner. Their first of the second half. 6.5 minutes of normal time to go, plus the additional. Man United can score. That would surely reset the apple, or reset all the nerves and maybe settle them a little more. Right-footed from Fernandes from the corner. Up and cleared away. And a bounce of the ball as Ugarte committed, and it's left a little bit of space for Andre Santos to break here. But he was well challenged in the retreating Luke Shaw. It's got a bit more sting about it this game now. Out wide it goes to Matheus Cunha. Man United player down. They play on. Cunha tries to go for the deep cross. It's chested down by Fernandes. Lays it off a little heavily to Ahmad. And now Chelsea will try and respond with a break. Fernandes. Fired in behind. Poor ball by Enzo Fernandez. And Delict bundled over. But no foul, said the referee. Tariq George didn't do much wrong there. If anything at all. Fired clearance by Bayindir. Tosin To head it back the way it came, brought down by Luke Shaw. Tried the back heel there, Fernandez, a little too blasé. And now the ball in behind here, it's Pedro to chase, but Delict should have that one dealt with and covered. He did for a second, but João Pedro's won it back again. Trying to dink his way through, but he's run into Patrick Dorgu. And the throw will be a Man United throw, as João Pedro had the last touch. 5 minutes of normal time to go. What's happened now? Is there a communication issue? There is. I mean, this game just gets more bizarre by the second. My goodness. I mean, with the heavy rain that we've had, there's probably no question, no surprise that the communication issue has been caused. And we see this replay of all the key moments of the game. Robert Sanchez's red card, the Fernandez goal, the Casemiro goal, to give United a 2-goal lead. Then Casemiro got a second yellow card to get sent off. Leveled the game up at 10-10. And then Chalobah in the last few minutes has given Chelsea a lifeline here at Old Trafford. As I said, a place they haven't won in 12.5 years. It doesn't look like they're going to win unless something even crazy happens. I mean, anything could happen and it wouldn't be crazy in this match. Kobbie Mainoo's coming on, and he's going to be replacing Bruno Fernandes, which is a popular decision around Old Trafford. Not that Bruno Fernandes is going off, but that Kobbie Mainoo is coming on. It's something the fans have been calling for a few weeks, to see Kobbie Mainoo in that midfield. And now we will see him in that midfield for Man United. Try and get them over the line here. Get only a second win of the season. Back-to-back home league victories. Shaw to take this throw in. And United want to dead this game. They want to take the energy and the sting out of it. Well, that's a lovely little flick by Cunha, but it was well dealt with by Chelsea defensively. As he works himself into a bit of bother there down the right side, Tosin, but gets the throw in out of it. Chelsea still need this game to go a little bit more open. Maybe a set piece, maybe a cross, maybe one crazy jump of press from United that leaves space in behind. They need something to sparkle them. They need to get themselves up the field. They're just inside the United half here with Caicedo. Waiting for options. Plays it off to Chalobah. Down the left-hand side, Gusto plays it off Ahmad to win the throw. Here's Tosin. Playing it across to Caicedo. Back it comes to Chalobah. Right, Fernandez. Enzo Fernandez. To Reece James. Bruno Fernandes is off the field, so he's the only Fernandes on the field now. Reece James pinging it across to find Chalobah. Santos. Now down the left-hand side come Chelsea. Well, Augusto trying to edge a little bit of space. Finds it. Cuts it back to Chalobah again, who swings it out to his captain, Reece James. Links up with Enzo Fernandez. Back to Reece James again. Not really penetrating the box at the moment. Patience from Chelsea, just popping it around, waiting for a glimmer of space, a chance. Gusto tried to find that chance, but he's blocked off well by Delict, who stepped up. And now Ahmad comes away with the ball for Man United. Chalobah battling and Gusto winning it back. And the Man United breakaway doesn't last very long, as Reece James does well to retrieve. Last minute of the 90. How long will be added on? We had 9 minutes in the first half. Here's a switch ball for Reece James. The flag stayed down. And the ball goes out of play for a Chelsea throw. Enzo Fernandez back to come to Tosin. Number of bodies forward for Chelsea. Everybody back for Man United. They can't afford to drop points from this game. Surely not. from what position they were in, it would be an almighty collapse of theirs if they were to lose, as Chalobah committed to a late challenge there, and it's going to be a last touch off him for a Man United throw, which they're going to take their very sweet time on, and it's going to be, the magic number is 7 additional minutes. 7 more to come. Lenny Yoro to take the throw in. Bit of head tennis between the United players as that ball's sent flying by Ahmad. It's an awkward one for Tosin, but he's got the header on it, and it bounces off Tyreek George, and then he grapples his way around Kobbie Mainoo, and that's going to be a free kick to Man United. Free kick here. Delict switching it out to the far left side. Dorgu's the target. Reece James trying to defend. Comes away with the ball, does the Chelsea captain. Still a lot of time of the additional time to go. Is there still hope for here for Chelsea to try and get a point out of this game? Fernandes. James. Ball in behind here. Tyreek George has made the run. Flag stays down, but it's gone up now. So a offside there. Every little moment that goes Man United's way, Bruno Fernandes celebrates on the sidelines. His teammates doing a job of just getting them over the line here. It will be a hard-fought victory, and a victory nonetheless for Ruben Amorim, and these are at a premium at the minute for Man United. The worst win percentage of any Man United manager since Sir Alex Ferguson left the football club, no doubtedly. Oh. And that was a little bit nervy from Chelsea, but they do win the throw-in on the right-hand side here. Reece James, time is ticking down. 3.5 minutes. 4.5 minutes, sorry, to go in this one. United lead by 2-1. Chelsea getting the latest of the 3 goals. With Trevor Chalobah heading in. Gave them some sort of hope. If they can create one moment, you never know. Reece James goes for the cross into the box. It's palmed away. It's fallen here. It's cleared off the line and thumped away. I said one moment. Reece James's ball came in. It was parried right out into the mix by the goalkeeper, by Ender, and then chaos ensued. But Man United get away with it. Gunya back into the midfield there. A bit of pressure on that midfield. And Ugarte. And that ball played through, and Ahmad is offside. Flag went up straight away. Bayender almost played his team into trouble there. See it down the right-hand side. A great zip ball by Reece James right across the 6-yard box. Bayender just palms it right out in front of him. There's a whole crowd of players in there. And they get away with it as Man United clear their lines, but that will only give Chelsea even more confidence in these final few minutes that they can ping a ball into the box, and you never know. Reece James comes inside this time. Lays it off to Chalobah. Caicedo down the left. More bodies committed forward. They've got nothing to lose now, Chelsea. Ball fizzed across the box. Shaw got the first contact, but behind for the corner. Goodness me, this is a nervy ending to this one at Old Trafford. Corner, left-hand side. Enzo Fernandez to take. Nervy, tentative moments for those inside Old Trafford of a red persuasion. Right-footed delivery by Fernandez. Punched away by Bayindir. And Reece James will just recycle, but 2 minutes of the 7 added remain. They're not out of the woods yet, Man United. Down the left-hand side come Chelsea. Gusto. Going to work it into the box. Enzo Fernandez on the spin. Goes down, wanting a penalty. Not going to get one for that. As Man United try and spring away. Chalobah with a awkward bit of defending, but he defends it strongly and comes away with the ball. End-to-end game this as the ball paid down the right-hand side. Pedro now. João Pedro with a ping ball in. That's cleared away. Kept alive. Reece James will look to swing one in. And he trips himself up there as he tried to set up for the cross. And that should send Man United away on the break here. Chelsea players in retreat. They're not in great speed here, Man United. It's not the red arrows, as that's a late challenge by Tosin. That's going to be a yellow card. And a free kick to Man United. And that should maybe just be enough to get them over the line. And there's still a minute to go, though. And they're not going to hurry to take this free kick, Man United. I'm getting 6 points from Reece James at the minute in my fantasy team because he's got an assist and got 2 points for his defensive contributions. Decent. Decent, I'll take it. Tosin with the yellow card there. As Real English says, for 4 out of the 5 games, Caicedo gets points for defensive contributions. Seconds tick down, there's not much left. They need a slice of luck really now, Chelsea. Caoimhan down the left. Trying to hold it here, and they win the corner to Man United. That's fabulously done by Caoimhan. Corner will come, and that might just be that, really. You never know with Man United. You never know when it's over. Enzo Maresca looks on, and a stern look. Mainu's going to take it short to Gunya. And there's the final whistle. A massive 3 points for Man United. When it looked like it was going to be falling away from them, they hung in there and were able to get over the line. It was 10v10 for the whole of the second half. Chelsea created the only clear-cut chance of the half that they scored. And it kept it tentative towards the end for United. But their goals from the first half, when they had 11v10, was enough to get them over the line. Bruno Fernandes with the first. Casemiro, who was dismissed after, got the second. And Trevor Chalobah got the goal in the second half to make it 2-1. Kept it interesting. But Man United get over the line and get only their second league victory of the season. And it was another nervy one. Final score at Old Trafford in this mental game of football. It is finished. Manchester United 2, Chelsea 1. And let's show you what that means for all of the day's action then. 6 down and 1 still to come this evening. Fulham taking on Brentford. We'll have all the recap of all of those games on our socials from tomorrow evening. Fulham Brentford still to come, as well as those 3 Sunday games. But already this weekend, what we've seen. A 2-1 victory for Liverpool in the Merseyside derby. Brighton and Spurs drawing 2-2 at the Amex. Burnley got there at a big point, and Ange Postecoglou getting a big point, his first as Nottingham Forest boss. 1-1 it finished at Turf Moor. Another defeat for West Ham, their 4th in 5 games this season. Crystal Palace picking up a big victory on the road once again. It's a first victory on the road for Leeds this season, and against the Wolves side, who've now lost 5 out of 5 this season. And it's Man United to getting there, only their 2nd win of the season, and they had to work hard for it once again. Chelsea falling to their first league defeat of the season, but their 2nd in as many games in all competitions. That is our Saturday action. Let's show you what that does to the table then in a second. We will show you what that means. As we can scroll all the way back to the top. And Liverpool lead the way. After 5 games, they have 15 points, a maximum that they could have achieved. Spurs have 10 out of 15 from their 5 games. Arsenal could go up to second tomorrow if they beat Manchester City, or draw. That would still be enough to take them to second place. Crystal Palace are up to 4th after their victory earlier this afternoon. That's 9 points out of their first 5 games, 2 wins and 3 draws. Still unbeaten, Crystal Palace this season, and they play the champions next. That's some game next Saturday. Bournemouth in 5th. They're on 9 points after their 4 previous games. They can move up to second if they emerge victorious at home against Newcastle tomorrow. Chelsea dropped to 6th with their first defeat of the season. They're on 8 points. Sunderland still to play. They're on 7 points. They can move up to second if results go their way tomorrow. And they pick up all 3 points at home against Aston Villa. Everton falling to defeat for the second time this season in the Merseyside derby earlier. They're on 7. Man United up to 9th. Quite a high rise for them. 7 points, from their first 5 games and back-to-back home victories. Leeds make up the top half. They've got their first away victory of the season, only their second win of the campaign. They're up to 10th on 7 points as well. And Man City are just inside the bottom half. They're in 11th on 6 points, of course, still to play. As are Newcastle and Fulham, who are both on 5, alongside Brighton and Forest, who've moved up places with their respective draws this afternoon. They're on 5 points apiece. Brentford on 4, they've still to play. Burnley on 4, which moves them outside the relegation zone. They have picked up a point today. West Ham losing this afternoon, as well as Wolves. They stay in the bottom 3. Villa can move themselves out of the bottom 3 with a win away at Sunderland tomorrow. And they're yet to score this season, Aston Villa. That's the way the table looks after what has been halfway through match day 5. There's no doubting who will be top and bottom at the end of this weekend, because that is quite definitive. A reminder for you that we do have Monday night action from the Championship, as we be at the Den, Millwall taking on Watford. That's Monday, 8 o'clock on LFS. It wasn't again pretty for Man United, but they got over the line, and it was 10v10 in probably the craziest game of the season so far. Final score, Man United winning by 2-1, and Chelsea's first defeat of the season. Madness to end our Saturday action. Good night.